On Sunday, July 19th at MetLife Stadium, 26 players will stand on a podium watching someone else lift the trophy. It will be the worst moment of their careers, and it will pay them $33 million. Welcome to the strangest paycheck in sports, the World Cup runner-up prize, the most expensive silver medal ever minted. Let's put the number in context because on its own, $33 million doesn't mean anything. Numbers this big stop registering as money and start registering as noise. So strip the noise out. $33 million is more than the winners received at any World Cup before 2010. Spain lifted the trophy in South Africa that year and didn't touch this kind of money. Italy in 2006, Brazil in 2002, those champions earned less for winning the entire tournament than this year's runner-up earns for losing the final. It's more than most domestic league champions and most continental club competition winners take home in a season. Losing the 2026 final pays better than winning almost anything else in football. Second place at this tournament out-earns first place across most of football history. Zoom out further and the growth curve looks almost vertical. From 1982 to 2002, the Champions Prize crept from roughly $2.2 million to $9 million across 5 tournaments, slow incremental increases as the sport globalized. Then something shifted. From 2006 to 2026, that number rocketed from $20 million to $50 million. Football didn't get 5 times more popular in 20 years. Television rights, streaming deals, and global sponsorship money did. The prize pool is really a mirror held up to how much bigger the business of football has become. The players on the pitch are just the ones cashing the check that broadcasters and sponsors wrote, and that's before you stack the ladder finalists climbed to get here. Every finalist already banked the guarantees, $2.5 million for preparation, plus $10 million simply for qualifying, meaning every one of the 48 teams in this tournament walked in with at least $12.5 million already secured, win or lose. Then layer on performance money for every round survived, the group stage, the new round of 32, a stage that didn't even exist before this expanded 48-team format, the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semifinals. Each step up that ladder is worth more than the last. Reach the final 8 and a team has already guaranteed itself around $19 million. Reach the final 4 and that number climbs again. By the time the final whistle blows on July 19th, the losing federation will have collected more than $45 million in total FIFA payments for failing at the last step. Compare that to what France earned for reaching the 2022 final in Qatar, roughly $30 million. This year's loser earns more than that tournament's finalist did, just for showing up on the bigger stage FIFA built this time around. So here's the uncomfortable question this video is really about. In football's money game, what is the actual value of winning versus losing? The prize gap between champion and runner-up is $17 million, $50 million for the winner against $33 million for the runner-up in performance money alone. Sounds huge, and on a spreadsheet it is, but remember how the money actually flows. It doesn't go to the players, it goes to the federation, the National Football Association, and every federation sets its own bonus structure for how much of that FIFA payout trickles down to the squad. Some federations are generous and transparent about it. Others have been embroiled in public disputes with their own players over exactly this split. Depending on the structure, players might collectively see 20 to 30% of the total pool divided across a 26-man roster, coaching staff, and support personnel. Run the math and the prize money difference between winning and losing the final for an individual player might come out to a couple $100,000. That's real money to anyone watching this video. It is not life-changing money for a player already earning a footballer's wage. Life-changing for nobody in that stadium. Now hold that gap up against club football for a second because it puts the number in even sharper relief. UEFA's Champions League final, arguably the second biggest game in the sport, pays its winning club roughly $20 million in pure performance bonus from UEFA, on top of the participation and coefficient money clubs earn across the season. That's the biggest single prize in club football. It's still less than what a losing World Cup finalist collects this July. The real gap, though, is everything the check doesn't show. Champions get the photograph, the image that runs for 50 years, that sells the shirts, that opens the lifetime sponsorships. Think about what a World Cup winning image does to a career. Winning captains become brands unto themselves. Their faces sell boots, watches, airlines, energy drinks for decades after the final whistle. Winning goal scorers get statues built in their honor, permanent boot deals, a guaranteed seat in every advertisement for the next World Cup and the next and the one after that. That single moment, arms raised, trophy overhead, becomes the thumbnail of their entire career. The runner-up gets a documentary about heartbreak, a nearly men narrative that plays on repeat every 4 years whenever a new tournament rolls around and broadcasters need archive footage. Ask the great teams that lost finals, the Netherlands of 1974, Hungary's mighty Magyars in 1954, legendary sides, genuinely some of the most beautiful football ever played, remembered forever as beautiful losers. History books are kind to their football. History's royalty checks are not. History pays royalties to winners only. There's a brutal business term for this dynamic: winner take most markets. Economists use it to describe industries, tech platforms, entertainment, professional sports, where being slightly better than a rival produces a wildly disproportionate reward. The final is 90 minutes that reprices everything. A striker who scores the winning goal in a World Cup final can add tens of millions of dollars to his lifetime endorsement value, essentially overnight. The keeper who lets it in, the defender who mistimes a tackle, the substitute who misses the decisive penalty, they become a trivia answer. Same tournament, same training, same sacrifice for 4 years leading up to it, same effort on the same night. One kick of difference and the commercial outcomes diverge for decades. That's the part a prize money table can never capture. The check is public, but the real payout, or the real cost, is invisible, and it compounds for the rest of these players' lives. And yet, here's the twist worth remembering as you watch the final. For the smaller federation in the game, losing can still be the greatest financial event in its history. $45 million is not pocket change for most of the 48 football associations that qualified for this tournament. So on July 19th, watch the losing bench at the final whistle. Watch the runner-up's technical area, not the winners. You'll see grown men, devastated, some in tears, physically and emotionally spent, having just completed one of the most lucrative months any of them will ever experience in their professional lives. Watch that next. And subscribe now, because the day after the final, the real money season begins, the transfer window. Every dollar of it, every fee, every release clause, every federation cashing in a World Cup performance for a player sale, we're covering it.